Well, the world's smallest hearing aid, measuring less than the size of a 5-cent piece, was unveiled in Melbourne today, and the makers promise it'll change the lives of hundreds of thousands of people.
Imagine listening into an orchestra and hearing nothing more than muffled noise. 21% of Australian adults have hearing impediments, and it's almost impossible to fully understand their frustration.
My hearing fluctuates a bit, and when it's at its lowest, you sort of get pretty depressed and a bit grumpy. I might get invited somewhere and say, look, I just can't hear, you know, and you'll be right, just come. But they just don't understand how frustrating it is to just stand there and there's muffled noise and just not being able to hear anything or anybody.
But a tiny device has opened Adam Stewart's ears and changed his life.
It got to the point where I'd really struggle daily just to hear people, even telephone calls, and yeah, I just had to do something about it.
And he did. It's called the Touch. It's the size of a 5-cent piece and is the next step in hearing aids and half the size of other devices. It's barely visible, which is important for people who are worried about being treated differently.
A huge step for people who would not have addressed their hearing loss before. So I think in terms of the type of people that will address their hearing loss now, it's definitely a revolution.
And what better way to try it out for dozens of hearing impaired Victorians who watched on and listened to the Australian String Quartet. On average, people with hearing difficulties wait up to 7 years before they actually seek assistance. I'm going to have one of these tiny devices fitted to my ear because the reason a lot of people hesitate is because they're worried about the size and the comfort of carrying one of these around with them. But it's actually really comfortable. I can barely notice it. For me, I'm not going to have it switched on because I have what they call normal hearing, but for those people with hearing difficulties, it will actually make a world of difference. Loss of hearing affects all aspects of life. People with hearing difficulties earn around $12,000 less than people who hear normally or use a hearing aid. The Touch is being launched internationally, and Hearing Life is sounding out business in the United States. Aaron Young, Business Channel, Melbourne.